It's all there. Right, I'm gonna take a break. I'm still gonna cook something, right? So I'm doing the pancakes. Whoever comes on, just talk to them. I don't think there's dick. There's no dick. La, 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 la. If anyone's there, then I will be starting soon. And I'm actually doing a pancake. Actually, I'm doing a pancake. I'm doing a pancake. Yeah, I like pancakes. They're lush, you know. All right, yeah. So what we got to do? We got to get that on there. And what we should do, right? We should, yeah. It's all for the good of the country. It's all for the good of the country. Yeah, we will do this. I'm just what I'm trying to do, right? I'm trying to, right? Where's that thing up there, man? My God, man! I don't know where the thing is, man. My dingaling. Oh yeah. We got to get on there, right? We're gonna do that there. So that's there. Um. Oh my God, what's that, man? Oh yeah, that we're gonna do. Oh yes, it's happening. There we go. There, we get that there. Oh God, I gotta get my pancake on. Yeah, we gotta do the pancake. Poo and wee. It's gotta be done. Everyone likes a bit of poo and wee. It's gotta be done. It's happening. There we go. So what I got that there. Got to make sure that that is all for the good of the country. I think all for the good of the. Do you think it's all for the good of the country? I think it's all for the good of the country. I do. La, 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 la. La, 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 la. With a deed of the key, Lily Bolero, la la la. That we shall have a new deputy, Lily Bolero, la la la. Lero, lero, lily balero, lily balero, la la la. Lero, lero, lily balero, lily balero, la la la. That we shall have a new deputy. I'm just doing a pancake, folks. I'm just doing a pancake. It's all good. But where is everyone, man? Oh no! It's all flowing on a wave. It's all flowing on a wave. we're not started yet, but I thought, like, it's got to be done. You know what they used to say? It's all for the good of the country. Do you think it's for the all for the good of the country? I think it's all. I'm dreaming of a white Christmas, just like the ones I used to know. I gotta get up before I burn my pancake. Oh my God, we don't want to burn my pancake. You don't want to burn your pancake. La 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 la. Oh, there we go. So we're gonna do that there. I don't want to burn my pancake. Up, bollocks! I don't want to burn my pancake. Up, there you go. Well, I didn't burn my pancake, guys. Right, I'm gonna take that off heat. Right, we're gonna take that off heat. Right, and are you on heat? I'm on heat. I'm all there. Right, location. There'll always be a Britain over across the waves. There'll always be a Britain, and we want to be so brave. So there we go. Roman, Iron Age, Iron Age, and poo. We turds, um, turfs, live, archaeology, and me. Me, 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 me. La 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 la. La 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 la. Whilst my Matilda, who come a waltz my Matilda with me, and we'll sing and we'll march through the cobble streets of Rochester. So what we're gonna do, I am gonna get that there, right? And you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna ding a ling. That's what we're gonna do. Yeah, there we go. Zoom. Do you know there's no one on you? It's just like, what is the point? What is the point? And also, right, reclaim host. There we go. You are now the host. I am now the host, right? I am now the host. There we go. We're going to leave that part of me. Ooh, baby, please don't go. I want you to stay. Do you know what I might do? Is I might. Oh no, man! It's all. Oh no, man! No. Right. Okay. So what we got you, right? It's. Oh, do you know what I'm gonna do? I'm just gonna turn that around, right? If I turn that around, right? I've never done this before. Have you ever done things that you've never done before? There we go. There we go. There we go. Oh, look at that. Look, I don't know how that's gonna work, right? We're just gonna give it a go, right? We're gonna give it a go, right? We've turned it around. Let's just see what happens, man. If that's any better. Do you know that's not any better at all? I just look like something out of an horror movie. Here we go. Um, so yeah, horror movie. It's like dodgy stuff, man. Dodgy stuff. Oh bollocks. Um, Right, so we do that. We move that around. Move that around. Move that around. Move that around. La 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 la. Move that. You know what? I'm gonna eat this fucking pancake. You know, there's no one there. We're gonna eat the pancake. Oh, you know what? Here we go. You know, this is the first time in. It's got to be. You know what? Right, this is the first time. This is the first time that I've ever had an online class ever, and nobody has turned up. So I've got 5 people who joined me on a Wednesday night, and one contacted me a few days ago. Said, "Come back here." 2 are away on holiday. I don't know but I don't know about the other one. And there's one person listening who should be here. There's another person who said that their technology wasn't very good. Now, as I'm looking on the screen now, look, my screen makes this look pretty good. Now, I'm in West Wales at this minute, and in fact, this is going to be a short one tonight. One person turns up and it'll be short, and it means I can drive away from here in the daylight. I'll be away. I don't like driving away from here in the dark because I don't know. I'm trying to keep the animals safe. There's no one here. This is a shame. I can see. And, I worked it out. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to hover around till 7:30. And do you know what I'm going to do? If anyone then does turn up, right, I'm going to basically say to them, I want to have a short class because there's only two people on. The thing is, when you're doing these, it's a lot of faff. So I used to teach this on a desktop. It used to be great. That was before everything changed. Anyway, got the laptop on you, and I'm going to double check a few things. Well, we do change the settings on these things on a regular basis. Oh, right. On another setting. No, analysis. I've had 3,500 views in the past 48 hours, which is good. So the live update is now 29 people watching my Slayer video, 34 my Roman video, and so work out. Nobody really watching this, which is what happens. I'm going to look at my stats now. I used to believe that to make real money out of this, you can't unless you're doing it all day. That's the thing you've got to do, be able to do it. Basically, if you're going to make money out of this, you've got to turn this into a job, a real job. And that's the thing. I'm not. I used to have people who were members of here. At one stage, I think about 12 people, and it was really useful having people who were members on my channel. And I've got 5 now, which is really disappointing. Quite disappointing. See, when you got members, it's sort of there's more of a sense of connection. And there's like lots of fiddly things to do with everything with YouTube. Those, fiddly bits and bobs. So I don't make any money out of YouTube. It it goes to basically paying for the Zoom. So what I get from YouTube pays for the Zoom subscription. That's basically it. I get so frustrated with trying to work out various different bits and pieces. It changes a lot. It's operated by AdSense. Mhm. You know what? It's 7:21, and it's really difficult to create. Really difficult to create when it's just yourself. There is somebody watching at this moment. I don't know who there is, but don't forget to like and subscribe and say hello. Whoever's watching, if you join my channel, then just press the join button, and I'll try and get different content out to you guys. So, what I'm going to do, I'm going to actually. Oh, there's somebody else joined as well. So I'm going to do another pancake. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to do another pancake. So don't people, whoever's on there, don't forget to like and subscribe and join my channel. And that is my pancake mix. Can you see that? It's basically a mixture of. It's a mixture of. It's a mixture of. I don't actually eat eggs, even though I've got chickens, right? So that is a mixture of egg substitute. Now there's different brands of egg substitute, and what I've got there is then I put the egg substitute, about two spoonfuls of egg substitute in that, and then I put a couple of spoonfuls of um, margarine, and then I add boiling hot water to it. Then I add the currants. Then I add the currants, and then it's got to be self-raising flour. Right, so I'm going to put this in the pan. I was going to do something with rhubarb tonight. Well, dodgy git, you are here, which is really good, right? And um, so dodgy git is you, which is absolutely brilliant. Um, dodgy git's my top fan on here. Bloody hell, which is great. He's top fan. He's a top fan, dodgy git. Dodgy git, if you there's four of us online, right? So I'm gonna get my I'm gonna finish my thingamajig over there, right? And we'll have a chat about. Well, I'll put some images up here, right? Anyone who wants to join my channel, press the join button. It's £1.99 a month. Everything really helps, right? And it really helps at times when my students are all away, right? So every single penny helps. And don't forget to like and subscribe. So, Dodgy Git, how are you today? Just let us know, Dodgy Git. Um, and so everyone's away. All my five Wednesday students are away, as far as I know. If anyone joins us now, we'll probably just have a really short class anyway. I'm just going to get my doodah. And folks, that there, that there is the pancake, right? So that is the pancake. So we've got that there. Pancake, pancake. That's the pancake that I'll be eating. And do you know what? I just gonna be cutting over the just sort of having a chat a minute, and I'm just gonna put the kettle on as well. Right, just gonna put the kettle on. If I can find the kettle, there's the kettle. Kettle, kettle. Where's the kettle? I can't find the kettle. Do you know what? I'm not allowed to live in West Wales. So I've got to travel back every time to South Wales, which is a bit of a bugger. Uh, but I've got my camper van, which is repaired, so that's going to be good. So, Dodgy Git, your number one fan. Apparently, on the screen, it says Dodgy Git is the number one fan, right? Um, which is great. So we've got to talk about Roman poo at the same time I'm eating this, which is fine. Which is absolutely fine. Right. So dodgy git. Oh God, I got to shut myself in. Hang on, dodgy git. Chucking it all in. There we go. Right, so here we go. I'm great, thanks. Just covered what new car for a teenager who won't eat and has menstrual issues and a bloody grumpy attitude. Also, agenda-free TV on watching Syria is Israeli border. Slice science and microbiome diverse fungus management for the regenerative forest environment is a current subject I'm learning about. Mushroom plastics and using molds to break. I agree. Down rubbish on landfills. Eat first, sir. So, so do you know what I'm going to do, Dodgy Git? What I'm going to do, right? I'm going to go out, right, and I'm going to see if I can find some berries. Hang on a minute. It's been so hot, folks, that the berries that you could just pick off the bushes, right? You just can't pick them off because they were just too hard. And yeah, I'm still here. I'm still here. Don't worry about it. I haven't gone away. It's all for the good of the country, I think. What bloody country we got left? You know, I'm so sick of living in Wales, really, because it's just rules for everything and taxes for everything. Well, actually, some of them were actually quite right. Um, oh yeah, I did. Did I? Yeah, I on the rice pudding, right? Do you know what the rice pudding turned out to be? It was a tin of custard. And I only found out it was custard after I'd opened the tin. So, Dodgy Git, what's this thing about the Damascus Army headquarters? Is it something that I don't know about? Well, Israel has gone to war against Syria now, is it? Okay, Dodgy Git, you tell me what's going on. Go on, because I don't know. I haven't been watching the news today. I'm in such a bubble. The only time I get news is when I'm driving along, got the radio on, and it's usually the BBC, which is a load of lies. I just heard a phone go off. I don't know where it is. Hmm. Where is the phone? Hmm. Fucking hell. Unable to open message. Not enough space on app. Sorry, no good. Send to Google. What the hell? Ah. So what's the bad bit? I've got one person trying to get on to join, but I'm really not sure. Do you know what I might do tonight? It's just going to be a real short one because everyone's away. Everyone's away this week. Even Anne's trying to get on. So I do have some good images lined up. Well, if you think poo and wee's good images. I'm so far away from a shop, yeah. But the only way you can really get there is by car. Your battery's on 10%. Well, why didn't you get on charge? That's what you got to do. On a well, actually on a Tuesday, I had I got 10 students who joined me on a Tuesday, right? Well, two are dropped out. Well, one probably two because of money. Right. And there's another one struggling. And when you get a day like this, I've been teaching online, right? I've been teaching online since 2012, right? This is the first time in 13 years that nobody has turned up. I had five people away yesterday, and I got all five, which are the only ones I got on a Wednesday. They're all away. They're all away anyway. So what does Howard Crowhurst say about Go Deppy Teppy then? The problem is history should be about people and their achievements, how they treat animals, how they treat the landscape, how they till the fields, how they deal with trees, how, how they keep their loved ones safe and close. And what we've done in human history is just killed, raped, murdered, wars, hatred, death. Do you know, I was reading today about I was reading about something today which I just couldn't really get. There was an SS death squad going through Belarus and Ukraine after the Wehrmacht had gone through. That's it. It was it Dresling's SS. These people were sadistic rapists and murderers, and they did terrible things. But I was reading something today, I don't know how much it was true, that the French had a regiment as well. So when the French landed in Italy, there was a Moroccan unit. This Moroccan unit was like the Allies' equivalent of this SS Death Squad going through Italy. And these Moroccans were just raping everyone, killing. Nobody talks about it. And then yeah, we've screwed everything up. Just such a beautiful planet. Beautiful. Do we need politicians? Do we actually need these stupid politicians? You know? So I've been teaching archaeology and history, amazing enough, since I was about 16. Right. I know it sounds a bit young, but I've been trying to break this thing that people expect to talk about warfare. I try to talk about peace and things that actual real people have done, you know? Oh, you're going to, you dodgy git. Well, if you are going to go dodgy git, then I'm probably not going to be here after 8 o'clock for the one reason is I'll probably just do some book writing, you know? Well, I might actually, why don't I actually, why don't I actually do the book writing actually online, right? So what I'm going to do, you know, I used to say this a while ago. I used to say, well, I'm just going to sit here and just do my own thing. So it's not about poo and we in the Roman Iron Age. Tell you what, let's just chuck these images on, right? Let's just share these images that I got up here, right? And do you know, I feel a bit fed up at this minute. I feel a bit annoyed with lots of things. Anyway, so this image that we're looking at now, and we're finally onto it. We've got 5 people watching online, which is great. Everybody online, please don't forget to subscribe. Please don't forget to like. And if you do join my channel, if you pay the £1.99 a month and join my channel, it's just a click, right? It makes such a big difference. It pays bills, it helps, you know, it really, really does. So anyway, so P and Woo in Woo, P and Woo, wee woo, P woo, whoa, whoa, whoa. P and we in the Roman Iron Age. And I was going through this piece from the National Geographic, right? And they found 10 tons of human waste in this system, right? In this cesspit, right? They actually thought it was like a proper sewage system where it was washed through, and then they found out that this system itself was a cesspit, and having 10 tons of human waste in it. Now, I was explaining last night that the best process for human waste is actually a dry process. right? So you pee, your liquids go somewhere else, and your number twos and your poop goes into a cesspit, right? And this is a concept that in in British society we don't seem to get, right? So if I know the systems that we've got rely upon liquid, for example. What the fuck is? Hang on a minute. Richard's just joined us. How has Richard joined us? Hang on a minute. Let's just let's just go and get Richard on. Let's just get Richard on. I don't know. Richard is on, so so this is gonna be a strange one. Let's just get Richard on. This is Richard baby. Richard, he's in a hotel room somewhere. Richard, it's I have been online talking to people on YouTube, and I don't know where you are. He's in a fucking hotel room. He's got a nice top on, and that looks really good. Richard, I'm going to come and join you and cuddle up with you and Pauline in bed. Um, don't worry about it, Richard. I'll just go on the foot of the bed, okay? You and Pauline can cuddle up as much as you like, but I'll just lie on the base of the bed. Bastard.
Ah,
Right, so it turns out that that when you said you were away this week,
yeah.
when you said you were away this week, um, Goff is away, Henry's away, Pat's away, and can't get on the computer. So
Ah,
I'm just looking at the images and I'm blithering on about them, right? So we're looking at pee and poo in the Roman Iron Age, right? And so I'm just gonna, seeing as you've made the effort, I'm just gonna chill along with the images, and then we'll. And what I was gonna do, right? What I was gonna do, I was gonna do a live book edit thing, and actually, I am down to the last 6 pages of stuff that I need to transfer over to the book.
ah.
And then I'm going to start looking through all the paperwork. And I've had a bit of a nightmare with the book, Richard, because um, I am pretty. Are you? I know I've got it printed down, so you don't need to give it to me. But you know the Romilly family, right?
Yeah.
Is that actually in the? Is that in the actually in the text that we've done?
No, no, I think I've got loads on them.
Yeah, hang on a minute.
No,
It's not. It's not in there. I thought it was.
yeah,
Anyway,
I got virtually a book on them,
fucking hell, I don't want to.
and that's only half of it done, I think. I've
Yeah.
got a lot in there, you know.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure, right? I'm pretty sure that I did put it in there, but I can't
Yeah.
find it. But because I can remember editing that stuff. It's probably in there. I just haven't seen it. I
Yeah.
just probably right. Anyway, let's get over to this. Right. Let's get over to this. I was talking away. I was going to ask if you got any news. Go on, give us some news.
What news have I got?
I got some bloody news.
So where did I go today?
I don't know.
Wilton House.
Where did you go today?
Wilton House.
Where's that?
It's about 5 miles from Salisbury.
Ah, right. I know Salisbury. Old Sarum, Salisbury. Is it left, west, east, or whatever?
West.
Never eat.
It
Oh, right.
was,
So, right. Okay. Okay. Oh, west of it. Right.
yeah, so it was owned by the Herberts.
Oh my fucking God. Really?
Yeah, yeah. I didn't realise. And I was
I
going
bet
through all these places, and they got like the you go there, the Pembroke pub is called the Pembroke Arms, and things like this. And then you can't just walk through the house. You got to go on a guided tour in case you're light fingered, I suppose. And
Well, did they? You didn't tell me you're from Barry then, did you?
I said, no.
You could be a brilliant criminal, Richard. You could have it all stuffed in that chair and nobody'd bloody check you. Yeah, you can see it now. There's like a comedy thing there. You've got you're grabbing stuff and you're giving it to Pauline. So put it in a bag. It's fine. They're not going to check us.
They got
Fucking
some,
hell. Yeah, go on. Sorry.
I say they got some great stuff there.
Oh, good.
Obviously
Good.
connected. A lot of Roman busts and heads and
Well, original ones because somebody was talking about this the other day. Some of them are original.
yeah, some are original, some are obviously copies,
Yeah.
but a lot of it is even there's Greek stuff there. It's just stuff that was, of course, ended up in the with the Herberts.
Brought back on the Great Tour. Obviously, all legitimate, Richard, naturally.
Yeah. Yeah, well, he was very honest bloke, wasn't he? Well, most of the family.
Which one?
Apparently the last one, mine was a drunkard.
Oh, right.
Or
Okay,
one of
fair
the
enough.
last ones. There's still one there now.
Ah, right. Okay,
Or,
fair enough.
a forerunner.
And what?
Because they were all the Earls of Pembroke.
All right. Is he still? He's still an Earl of Pembroke, is he?
Yeah, yeah. He's only like looks about 30 odd or something. 40 perhaps.
Oh, right.
He's been left a lot. Yeah, it was
Right.
good.
Yeah, no, it's good. That's
So we've
good.
done Wilton, Salisbury Cathedral, Shaftesbury Abbey, and quite a
Did
few.
you did you go and see any of the bookshops in Salisbury under the arch?
No, no, we haven't.
Mm.
We were there
Oh,
and there was a couple of, second-hand bookshops and I went to Bewley as well.
Bewley.
Bewley.
I, I know these places, but I can't remember what's there.
Well, it's all cars, isn't it? It's the British collection, well, motor vehicle.
Oh, the museum. Oh, right.
Yeah.
Like a. Oh, right. Yeah.
And you have a tour of the house as well.
What, Bewley House?
Yeah.
Oh, right.
So that's quite dramatic. And all like the Abbey grounds, because it was
What,
an
Bewley?
Abbey.
Oh, right.
So we've got all the ruins of that. Yeah, it's
So,
really
so you,
interesting.
yeah, go on.
No, I say it's really interesting. So,
What, so you've been away for 2 weeks, is it?
no, only a week.
Oh,
Came,
no, is it? Oh,
when did
right.
we come down? Last Friday.
Oh, right. So you're still there till Friday, are you?
Yeah. Yeah, leave Friday morning.
Oh, right. Yeah. Best of luck getting back into traffic.
Oh, I'll be all right.
It's only an hour to Bristol, is it?
Well, they say about 15 minutes to Bath from here.
Oh,
So
right. Right.
we're about, we're sort of west of Salisbury, about 10 miles west. So
So you could go via back. You could go via Oh God, Swindon.
yeah, I think
Is
it's,
it?
it's just as easy coming through Bath.
Yeah. Nice.
It's, a more
Oh.
picturesque route, isn't it?
Yeah. Try and avoid Bristol. I've already got three bloody tickets, which I'm
Oh,
not paying.
Bristol's a nightmare, isn't it?
Yeah, I got three. I got three tickets, which I'm not paying.
Oh,
Which
those for
yeah,
the
they can't get me for it, but it's just like it's like I because I've got an old car. It's like
Yeah, yeah. So you got that same as London now.
Yeah,
Just
I
go to
managed to.
London or whatever.
Yeah, hang on a minute. When I went to London, I'm pretty sure I had a. I went to Richmond. I'm pretty sure I had one there, right?
Yeah.
And I was actually paid. I was actually paid the money for the charges, but I kept the money and didn't pay the charges.
Oh,
So yeah, cool.
nice.
Oh yeah, I
Have
got
a
to tell you this,
car.
right? What's that?
I said you'd have Sadiq Khan after you.
No, I won't. He's in bloody Lagos in Nigeria.
Is he?
Apparently, he's in Lagos in Nigeria for to build a relationship between Nigeria um, and London.
Oh, that's cool.
Uh,
Oh,
he's he's in his he's in his gown and stuff, right? And the biggest joke is that somebody at one government department um, has 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 had printed, a massive flag that's draping the cenotaph, right?
yeah.
And they're saying they've done this because Sadiq Khan isn't in London.
I can't
I, I
actually believe people vote for him.
yeah, I can't work that out either.
Incredible, isn't it?
It is incredible, yeah.
Yeah, what is it? ULEZ or something, isn't it? ULEZ is.
Oh yeah, the ULEZ scheme in London where people have
It's the same in Bristol, isn't it? And a few places.
yeah, I can't work it out. They'll probably do it in Barry next because they oh yeah, all the stuff with the parking. Did
Yeah,
you my Barry district piece this week, right? I was looking, I sent you those photographs which I'm gonna get printed, right? I,
yeah,
I I've decided that I'm gonna publish the report. But the problem is I've got to publish a report on the hill fort at Westwood Rise because remember that time we actually found some of the banking.
yeah,
So I've got to get that. I got to get that published this year. If this book comes out this December time or whatever, right? Which it could do. It might. I don't know. But
yeah,
whatever happens, I've got to get the report done so that there is out there and it's not just in a book. And also this thing over the Bendrix as well. I'm gonna get this report. I'm gonna get this published, but I'm also gonna get copies of these. I'm gonna get these scanned in.
yeah,
Um, I'm gonna get these photographs scanned in, so I can actually do a report on it. And um, so I've got two reports that I want to do,
yeah,
and it's just getting the book stuff done. So it was all aiming towards it was all aiming towards transferring over from the original text into this text, and then going through all of your paperwork.
yeah,
And then what I might do is oh yeah, I sent you a text today about the Elms, which was on a Harbour Road, and I don't really know if that's relevant, but there was a house, big mansion house there.
yeah,
Um, you know the one, and
yeah,
and well, I actually thought that was like I it wasn't it it wasn't it's not on the earlier maps, but it's definitely on the 1920 surveyed map.
yeah,
Um, and I just thought that would be interesting. But then again, um, we're it's a difficult one. And also Beaconsfield, I thought unfortunately it's getting late in the day now. So to because I've still got to go through all your other stuff to make sure that it's all in.
yeah,
And then you're going to say, oh well, this isn't in, and I'll say, well, that's it. We'll leave it for now, and we'll chuck it in another edition.
yeah,
So I'm quite impressed that I've managed to stick to it because I've just not been able to do it for a long time, and
yeah,
yeah, I've just managed to do it. You can see that I'm on it every day, which is
yeah.
good.
So another picture you sent me, a piece off the map. You
Oh
said
yeah,
it's
yeah. There's like a little square.
yeah, because it's the old harbour, isn't it?
No, that's Nell's Point.
Oh, it's Nell's Point. It's only a little square, and all I could see was site of chapel.
Yeah, no, that's Nell's Point.
I thought it was the old
Yeah,
harbour.
no, yeah. Basically, in that field, right, in that field, that there's a line, right,
Yeah,
and that's going to be around other way, other road, right. So it's just a bit further from other road, and then that's the best I can work that out. And
yeah,
directly underneath there's the railway tunnel. So that is like a little square, and I just thought it's not a well, but what is it?
yeah. So no, on top of the when they dug the tunnel, that was the end of the farm. That is gone.
Yeah, so it's on the reverse. It's from the reverse of that. It's towards the.
Yeah,
It's towards Jackson's Bay.
yeah. I'll have a look at it on the full map. The one they
Yeah,
had to work
yeah,
out. It was only a little section.
yeah. Sorry, what it was. What it was. I had that on my phone, and
Yeah,
I just thought I was deleting images off the phone, and I decided to chuck that over to you.
yeah. I saw
I
it.
met.
Site of um, chapel, and I thought, oh, it's the old harbour, by
No, it's
just
not.
down from the pier,
No,
jetty.
no, it's not that. It's not that
Yeah,
at all.
because I could just see a bit of coastline and just
Yeah. Anyway, I glad you asked about that. Look, just try your best with any of the things. Oh, and you were very right about the R101. I was reading about the R101. It was launched in it was in from October 1929, and it came down in France on the 4th of October. Oh my God, I'm remembering on the 4th of October in 1930. It came
yeah,
down over France with 48 people dead, right? Out of 54 people on it, right? And
yeah,
and there was and more people died in that air disaster than actually died on the Hindenburg. So more people died on the R101
yeah,
than the Hindenburg. And I'm just thinking, well, right, shouldn't we be talking about that one and not the Hindenburg? But we don't talk about it.
yeah.
And yeah, one thing I couldn't work out, there were apparently two R101s, but it's only saying that the only actually one was launched.
I think one blew off the. I think one was damaged in the wind, unless it was that one.
No, no, no. The one that went to France, the one that exploded. It's a fucking horrible death.
Yeah,
It's a really horrible death. You got the blast of the explosion. If the blast of the explosion doesn't kill you, right,
yeah,
then you've got this huge fire, and then you've got individual explosions because there's individual cells in the R101, and
yeah.
there was like when that cell blows up, then the other blows up, and then the other blows up, and it's just like yeah. So I do. Oh, hang on a minute. I'm sure Anne was on there then.
I didn't see.
Oh. Do you know what I'm going to do is we're going to. Oh yeah, I got to tell you this, right? I got to tell you this. Judith, who's on um, Judith, who does a Tuesday, right? She's on the Isle of Wight, the same as you. She's been away for a week. She's on the Isle
Yeah,
of Wight, right? And actually, she couldn't join us last night. So I said to her, I said somebody's just told me, right? There's a poo museum on the Isle of Wight, the British Museum of Poo, and I thought they were making it up, and they
yeah,
weren't. Right? On in the Isle of Wight, right? There's a museum that's dedicated to poo, right? And And I jokingly said to her, "Well, you're on the Isle of Wight. Why didn't you go to this museum and take some photographs?" Right. Anyway, she went to this museum and took photographs, and she said, "I can't wait for it. I can't make a video because there's loads of children around, and I can't, and it's packed." One of the biggest tourist attractions
Okay.
ride on the Isle of Wight is a poo museum.
Good.
I was most put out because I thought I'm going to get a video for this, and she said she sent me a load of photographs,
Yeah.
so I don't have that, but yeah, honestly. So anyway, I tell you what, let's just go through these images, right? So I can say I've done them, right?
Yeah.
Um, I I was talking. There was somebody on YouTube earlier on, right? And the person on YouTube, yeah, well, there was like five people on here, and then one person was nattering away, and he said, "Oh, my battery power's running out on my phone now," and I'm just thinking, "Oh, great." And he said, "Oh, will you be here later on?" And I said, "Probably not." Um, anyway, um, I just had this brainwave the other day that I would be looking at um Roman poo and INA's poo and stuff, right? And I just thought, right,
Yeah.
okay, but everyone's been away. Thank goodness, probably for them. Anyway, what I was saying is that can you remember that thing I wrote about in the Barron district about a cesspit, um or was it not a cesspit, a
Over Porthcurry House.
yeah, sewage disposal unit, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Anyway, um the one problem is I was saying that obviously with the way that we dispose of modern human waste,
Yeah.
right, is that they divide they don't divide the materials, right? So obviously you've got the solids and you've got the liquids, right? Well, anyway, so when they were in Herculaneum, they found this big chamber underground, right? And it contained 10 tons. It said tons. It contained 10 tons of waste, garbage and human
Yeah.
waste, and all sorts of bits and pieces, right? As people do. Um, people, people lose rings and stuff. Or
Yeah.
like Michelle, she's dropped the bloody her phone down the toilet twice, right? And she's picking the thing out the toilet, and oh, we got to wipe this phone now, and there I am, and it's just like, for God's sake.
Yeah.
But anyway, it happens, right? So anyway, the point is that the Romans knew how to just dispose of waste, right? And that's it. They knew how to do it, right? So what you've got these large sort of chambers, right? These large cesspits, right?
Yeah.
So these large chambers, and and one thing that we do know about Rome is that they paid for your pee, right? So you divide your pee, you divide your liquid from your solids, right?
Yeah.
Um, and in Rome, Pompeii, Heraclean, we've got people would pay you for your pee, right?
Yeah.
So female pee is ideal for wool, and to treat wool, right? And to sort of so you can you can work on the fibers and stuff. That's what you're using a female pea for.
Yeah.
So male pea you're actually using in
Leather.
laundry. Yeah, you're learning using it in laundry. And actually, right, Michelle, I was talking about this, and Michelle said actually people use female pea today, right, to wash their hair. And apparently, I know if Pauline's listening to this, don't do it, Pauline. It's just not worth it, right? But apparently, right, um, washing your hair with urine takes away the smell.
Yeah.
Work that one out, right? But anyway, the whole point of all this is how in the past that they were able to dispose of their human waste, right?
Yeah.
Because this is all this big chamber here is associated with a load of apartment blocks, for rich and poor people,
Yeah.
right? Usually poor people. And the point is this would be cleaned out on a this would be cleaned out probably on a yearly basis, like cesspits are cleaned out in the countryside on a regular basis, right? So you get these big machines out and they suck everything out and then
Yeah.
that's it. So um oh God, hang on a minute. Flipping heck. Do you know, I've only got two people on tonight. Hello, Anne. Oh my God. Hello. Oh my God. I, it's a nightmare, Richard. I'm in full flow. I'm in full flow. So basically they've got these cleaned out on a regular basis, and what they're finding is their diet. So they're finding that we know that they're eating various things. And they've got an extremely they've got an extremely they've got an extreme diverse diet,
Yeah.
these rodents. It's extremely diverse. And there's another paper that's actually come out recently, that says that Roman sanitation um, was probably uh, um, not as good as people's sanitation in regards to Iron Age settlements. They're saying that the Romans went through so much effort to deal with their human waste that it probably made no real difference to cleanliness and hygiene in Roman towns and cities. Right. So and they're saying obviously, they're digging this out, but there's no smell. And that's another thing. That's another thing that lots of people don't know. If you separate your human solids from 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 the liquid, right? It's the liquid that makes it smell. It's not when it's solid and starts to dry out, the smell goes. And so when the archaeologists were excavating the 10 tons of stuff here at Heracleum, they were extremely shocked that there was no smell. Um, and another thing that was coming out a lot is is something that has made me think a great deal. When they were excavating in here, and they've not really got this level of information in any Roman town or city, right?
Yeah.
Anywhere on in the Roman Empire, but what they've got is broken bits of lamps and pottery and stuff. And it then got me thinking that when I'm going out in the field and I find bits of broken pottery, my usual answer is that these broken bits of pottery have been swept up from the floors in people's houses in the medieval period, Roman period, in the Iron Age, and it's all been swept up and it's been chucked in with all the other crap and put on the fields. But when I started thinking about this, I started thinking, well, what are you going to do with your pee, right? Because pee is really important. Um, and and this is one of the things about all of this, right? This is one of the things about all of this is that we've had it's been extremely hot, right? And with it being extremely hot, we've in West Wales we've actually kept all our pee, right, and we've used it to put on our plants because it's been it's a resource that we couldn't discard.
Yeah.
And the point is, I was thinking that if you've got a medieval village, you're gonna be peeing in a spittoon, right? You're not going to just be peeing in the corner of the building, because if you're peeing in the corner of the building, not only is it going to make the building smell, is that in the summer months that's going to be a valuable liquid,
Mm.
right? Why just pee where you're standing when you can put that in, say, a container, right? And then when you're going to spread that and you're going to put that in the field with crops and stuff, occasionally some of the containers break, right? So it's not the container hasn't been swept up. These bits of pottery haven't been swept up from the floors of houses, right? It's just people just disposing of your urine and so on fields and stuff, and it starts to make you think. So as they're going through all of this, they're finding lots of evidence of seeds, lots of bones. They're out there sorting through it,
Yeah.
shell fragments and other remains. And I think, look at that, Richard, right? They're sorting this stuff away, and they've got some nice little grapes on the end, which they can sort of eat whilst they're
Mm.
going through people's crap,
Yeah.
which which is a typical archaeological thing to do.
Yeah.
So 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 when they're going through this, they're not only seeing the usual stuff like shells and bones and seeds. They come across evidence of chicken. They're eating mutton, um, and obviously fish remains. They've got evidence of sea urchins that they're eating as well. Various mollusks. Um, Sea urchins are really bloody strange things, and I didn't know you could eat
Yeah.
the meat from a sea urchin. But have you ever eaten a sea urchin? Because I haven't.
No, I don't think I have.
No, I've eaten lots of things. Eaten quails, monkey's brain. I've eaten swordfish, squid, octopus, um, but not eaten. I've not eaten sea urchin. Anyway, so what they've then got is sort of evidence of figs, fennel, olives, and all sorts of things. And they're basically saying, well, this is just like the normal everyday life stuff. It, I think fennel seeds are probably the equivalent of that we're not able to digest sweet corn,
Yeah.
or or like tomato seeds, So so just a normal everyday jolly good diet, one doctor said. That recommended diet. Tell you what, that's really good. Fish, fennel, figs, chicken. It's all olives. It's all good stuff. And obviously they're coming across little bits of remains of dormice, and probably quails. All
Yeah.
those types of things. Um, which might be delicacies of the rich, but they're coming across all of this stuff together,
Yeah.
and it was really good for them to go through all this and see that they had a really sound, really impressive, really interesting diet. And this chamber that they were excavating, right, where they come across 10 tons of material, right, was 70 meters long, but it didn't go anywhere. So everything led into this, and it just didn't go anywhere. And it was in the region of about 2 to 3 meters tall. This thing,
Yeah.
because what they thought that there was an outlet for this, but it wasn't, because they just this stuff, after it's sort of matured, right, it's perfect material to spread on the fields. And I'm gonna say something rather disgusting, Richard. We sell sheep shit, right? And sheep shit is um, horrible, smelly stuff, particularly when it's damp, right? But
Yeah.
after 6 months, there's no smell at all. And I'm not going to suggest it, and I've not done it, Richard, and I'm not going to. But you could handle that stuff, and you could break it down, and you put it in the envelope that says we send it out to people, and you could probably handle eating some sandwiches straight after, and you'd be fine, right? I'm
Yeah.
not going to do that, but the point is
What's the
as long as the solids are separated from the liquids,
yeah.
as we saw with the sewage system invented by that French guy at Porthcurry, right?
Yeah.
It breaks down.
Because it used to be before,
Yeah,
when it's sort of like in London, that no,
yeah,
nearly all the solids went out onto the fields.
yeah, yeah. And how dare you say that? Because I have
Yeah.
I have not heard that for ages. You are dead right. I used
Yeah.
to say that as well. You are
Yeah.
you are very right. He used to go out in the fields, didn't he?
Yeah. And one of the biggest things was with the wheat. Then they'd use that for leather. That was the biggest use of it.
Yeah,
And they also then, wouldn't it?
yeah.
Because they're still doing it now.
Keep going.
Now there's hell to pay because they're finding out now there's so many people are on antibiotics and drugs and stuff, and it's all in the poo, and they're worried just going to contaminate the soil. Well,
Ah, right. Yeah. No,
yeah.
actually,
Well, if
can
100
I?
years ago, 100
Yeah,
years ago, it was fine. You know, they chuck it on the field,
Yeah,
bacteria would break it down, and
yeah,
stuff would
yeah.
grow in it. You know, it's fine.
You are. I know something about this, Richard, because we had one of the neighbours in West Wales, right? They said they put in a formal complaint against us and
Yeah,
the people up the road and somebody else, right? And they basically said, oh, they're not treating their human waste and whatever, right? And Natural Resources Wales said, well, what are you doing with all of this? And I said, well, it's in these things, and we take them to we take them to a place, and then we empty it and whatever, yeah. And they were saying, oh, well, because you can't put this stuff on your land, right? Because it's full of toxins and contaminants and stuff. And I'm thinking, mind my French, who the fuck do they think we are? We're not mass bloody people on all these different drugs. But yeah,
yeah,
that's a good point because um, they're worried that that's going to get into the water system, right?
yeah,
And because it's all modern toxins and stuff. Yeah, you are right, Richard. You are very right.
yeah.
Yeah. Um,
So there's a
they
lot of farmers now are being taken to task over it. But we used to get up the suburb. We used
Yeah,
to
go on.
all the gardens up there. We used to find loads of china in the soil,
Yeah, go on.
but it wasn't old china. It was late Victorian or Edwardian. And apparently, according to my mother, you know, Minamore, no Minamore, the road off Porth Castle.
Minimal.
Yeah,
Yeah. Oh, that's the small one, isn't it? The
yeah,
small
it was.
roads. Yeah,
There
go
used to
on.
be like a big dip. And when we were kids, it was all barbed wire fences and all that. Well, apparently they were all pigsties there.
Yeah,
So of course, I expect people working with them and that they'd have a cup, they'd drop it,
yeah.
they just chuck it in the pig crap, you know. And apparently a
And the
lot of
pigs.
that was spread over the suburb where the
Yeah,
houses were built.
yeah,
Because it's really poor soil up there. Because it's virtually you dig down a couple of inches at the suburb
yeah,
and you're straight onto limestone.
yeah.
So apparently that was, you know, but that's the same, you know, using crap to fertilize the land.
Yeah, no, that is that is so true, and
Yeah,
it's something that we don't actually talk about. It's
yeah,
something that we really don't talk about. So yeah, we didn't actually mention this last night because yeah, we just don't. We just didn't mention it last night. You know what we've discussed because they did spread this stuff on the fields,
yeah,
and um and one of the things that you do is that you spread human waste on the field and you set the pigs at it.
yeah, and
So
I dig it all in.
exactly, exactly. The pig, because there's bits left in human waste and like meat and stuff. The pigs eat that, and then they mulch it all into the ground, and it's perfect. Yeah, you're
Yeah,
right. You know, wow, cool. We went off on one then.
yeah,
But there is one thing about all this stuff that they were finding in Herculaneum, and obviously sifting it and getting the bigger stuff on the top, like the bits of
yeah,
pottery, and they'd have another grid, and you get the little nuts, and then at the bottom you get the seeds, and you get the small bones, and all the rest of it. And obviously, then finally, what you're doing is you're working out that you've got bacterial or parasitic indications of stuff in all of this stuff that they're looking at. And when they took out of the site 774 sacks of this human waste, right?
Oh,
and they're still going through it. They'll probably go through this for the next few decades.
yeah,
So,
yeah. As you say, once the bacteria has broken it down, it's virtually back to sort of Earth, and you know.
I know.
But they used to then, didn't they? They used to use the urine then in the sort of, especially during like the Napoleonic Wars. They used to collect it then to get the saltpeter.
Oh yeah, they did. It's all really really useful stuff. It
Yeah,
really it really is. People forget the benefits of all of this. They really really do. They really do. Um, right. So let's go on to the next thing. Right. Let's go on to the next thing. I was doing my research and going into this. Um, I was going into this, and I was looking at Iron Age. Right. I was looking at the Iron Age. And this is from this is from Austria. This is a sophisticated ancient uh, piece of fecal matter. And when it
yeah,
says sophisticated ancient piece of fecal matter, which really throws your mind, is because we worked out in Austria 2,700 years ago. The preservation of this fecal matter is so good is because it was found associated with a salt mine and salt workers in Austria 2,700 years ago, 700 years before the birth of Christ. And they're basically examining this and they're finding out that these people, wait for it, not only did they drink beer, right?
uh,
They actually ate blue cheese.
uh,
They've got evidence that these people actually used to eat blue cheese. They're sophisticated people indeed. And obviously little bits of seed and all sorts of stuff in there. That this is great. You
uh,
could you could you you could spend forever doing this. You know, you could spend a whole year breaking this down and sort of going through everything they're eating, right? And they're basically saying that the finding was the earliest evidence to date of cheese ripening. And when we're talking about what they're doing, they're getting these copper rods, they're chucking it through the cheese, and they're pulling the copper rods out, and then you've got all the little sort of that's where you've got the bacterial sort of blue stuff in the cheese, you
yeah,
know. Um, so well, somebody's saying online, good old Dash, he's saying his missus looks a bit like me.
uh,
What? What? She looked a bit like you. What? Flipping heck, you should go for different women, mate. Christ almighty. So anyway, so basically you can imagine them down a salt mine, right? Consuming beer with a bit of cheese and bread. It's great. So it's becoming increasingly clear that not only were prehistoric culinary practices sophisticated, but also that complex processed foodstuffs, as well as the technique of fermentation, had been part of a prominent role in connection. Oh, we're joined by Black Patch's dog on you now. My copper rod has cheese on it. Right. No, that's not what we're saying. Sorry, Richard. They've gone off on one online. Again, an Iron Age coprolite, right? And also, I mentioned that the Pooh Museum on the Isle of Wight. When Judith went in there, they
yeah,
had they had coprolites through the ages. They had a whole variety of different coprolites. And apparently, there's competition from that museum because they want the big one that's in one of the museums in York. They really do, right?
yeah,
And we're going to talk about the big one in a short while. This is a big one, right? We're going to describe this huge turd that they've got in York.
yeah,
So anyway, they're basically saying because of the constant temperature in the mine itself, the old Iron Age mine. And the guy loves me now because I look like his missus. Look, mate, I'm not into that. So it is thanks to the constant temperature of around 8 degrees C and the high concentration of salt at the mine that the miners' feces were preserved particularly well. So they've not got just one example of a minus feces, they've got a number of them. And
Right.
also, this is another really interesting thing, Richard, right? They found, right? They found also that these people had various fungi organisms living inside them, such as Penicillium roqueforti. Yes, penicillium.
Ah,
Penicillin, you can actually find on bread and stuff and all the rest of it. They found this in the fecal matter, right? Which, as we know, that's where penicillin originally came from, and another type of fungi as well. That they found these microorganisms. These people had a good diet and they were quite healthy. Um, by the way, this guy online called Dash, he wants us to talk about the big one. Hang on, we're gonna get onto the big one in a minute. Richard's chaffing at the bit to see the big one. So, in other words, what we're finding out is that Roman and Iron Age diets were a lot more healthier than we give these people credit for, right? So, and also what they're finding is also evidence of cereals that you can clearly see in that sample. They ate fruit, they ate beans, not the 57 variety of beans, and various meats. So that's what they were doing. It's a clearly balanced approach that these people actually had in their diet. So in other words, and they've got evidence of porridge that they're eating whole grains. They're eating whole grains, and as you know, Richard, right? Um, the guy still Dash is still going on about his penicillin and his cheesy rod. Um, but what I going to lose track of this in a minute. But what they're saying is by eating the whole grains and the microbiota associated with the penicillin for roqueforte and Saccharomyces cerevisiae, which are the fungi that they found in this, right, which would have gone through their system, the microbiota, and the fact that they're eating the solid grains means that these people have got a really good and healthy diet. I'm going to say to people again online, those that want to like and subscribe to my channel, really, really welcome. And also, um, what I might do is if I'm going to put this on you, there's buy me a coffee. They could buy me a coffee online, Richard, right? And they can, yeah, I think that's about right, isn't it? Hang on. I'm just going to put this on there, Richard. For I think that's right. Yes, they could buy me a coffee online, Richard, and I get a donation from it. It's great. Anyway, back to where we were. So the next thing that we're going to do, right? Oh, Richard, this was something else. Before we get onto the big one, right? Before we get onto the big one, on the Hadrian's Wall, right? The wonderful Roman site at Arbea, right? In otherwise known as Arbea South Shield Roman Fort, right, where they've got a bit of a reconstruction. They're getting members of the public to recreate Roman turds, right? So and they're getting children to make these turds, right? And then they get them to dry these out, and then they get little things in them, and they get their little children to pick the grains out and stuff, so they can experiment on coprolites, right? Get them started young, Richard, examining poo. So they found out that the best way to make synthetic Roman poo is by using the following ingredients: 1 cup of flour, half a cup of salt. Why you need half a cup of salt, Richard,
ah,
to make a poo? I don't know. Right, tablespoon of vegetable oil, soil, and water. What? Brown paint,
ah,
large mixing bowl, tablespoon, wooden lolly sticks, cocktail sticks, or anything else to poke your poo, a plate, a poo excavation sheet, and a pencil. This is. And apparently, one person has requested that I send them some of my poo in the post. This is not going well, Richard. Anyway, so what they're doing, they're getting these things to dry out and they're giving to other children, and they're analysing them. There you go.
ah. Yeah.
Yeah, so what they do, they mold this in, Richard, and then they put a cross section across it, and they get children in with little tweezers and to find things. It's all good, Richard. It's really good, and that's what a reconstructed poo looks like. I'm sure we'd all want one of them. Oh, right, this is the big one, Richard.
Oh, Viking.
The Viking poo. Yeah, we all love this one. We all love this one. A dash online with black patches dog, right? Um, the Lloyd's Bank coprolite is a large coprolite or fossilized specimen of human fecal matter recovered by the York Archaeological Trust in 1972, and this dates back to a whopping 1,200 years ago. And it was found beneath the site of the Lloyd's Bank, where they eventually developed the Coppergate Roman Viking Center, Jorvik, and this itself measures 20 centimeters. It's a 20-centimeter poo. It's 20 centimeters. It's 20 centimeters and is 5 centimeters wide. And this has naturally dried out over the years, Richard. So yeah, you can't make this up, really. You can't.
Yeah.
But yeah, I got to tell you, a descriptive story, right? There used to be this guy who used to own my flat in Cardiff Road, right? And one day the toilet was blocked, right? So he came down, right? And
Yeah.
he said, oh, he came down. He said, oh, he had this poo the other day, and it was a big, massive whopper, and he had to get his hands in there. And he had to push it round the U bend and all the rest of it. He's describing this, right? Typical Barry lad. Typical Barry lad. And also, when I was living in Cardiff Road, right, there was this guy, right? He knocked my door. He knocked my door in the afternoon. He said, "Have you been stuffing peaches down the toilet?"
Oh,
And I'm saying,
peaches.
I look at him and say, "What do you mean have I been stuffing peaches down the toilet?" He said, "Well, I had to put the rods down there to unblock the toilet. It was full of these peaches, right? If I had known that the person was stuffing peaches down the toilet, I would have taken them off and I would have eaten them myself," he said. And he's talking about this as if he's picked them out of the shit, right? It's shocking. And this is a Barry person. I think it's like Barry mentality, Richard. We all went to Barry boys. So anyway, the analysis of this stool, there we go. Look at that. Look at the size of that. Talking about a handful. Oh my God. Anyway, so they did a little bit of analysis of this because you can't really analyze it too much because it damages the specimen.
No.
So analysis of the stool has indicated that its producer subsisted largely on meat and bread, despite evidence suggesting that other people at the same place and time had access to fruits, leeks, shellfish, and nuts. This stool had undergone mineralization. Oh my God! There's a guy who went to Barry Boys on you, Richard, right? Called Dash Render. Do you know him?
No. That's annoying.
He went to Barry Boys and he's talking about U-bends and shit as well. It's bloody typical. It really is. Apparently, this is mineralized. This one. Oh, that's the picture of a dog. This one's mineralized apparently because they don't usually mineralize. Basically, when it mineralizes, some of the sort of components actually start turning into sort of minerals, right? But they were able to analyze this anyway because usual poo dries out. And when they analysed it, don't analyze a stool when you've got and eat a sandwich afterwards, particularly when it's human. They actually found that this person had several hundred parasitic eggs, suggesting the person was riddled with intestinal worms,
Ah.
mouthworms, and whipworms. It's great stuff. That poo looks like a schlong. Actually, I tell you, I played a character for this Barry director called Rob Jenkins, right? And he come up with a name for me. He said, right, we'll call you Carl is a schlong, right? And we filmed this stuff, right? And we put it on the internet. And I had no idea that a schlong meant dick, right? So my name was Dr. Carl is a schlong. Yeah, fair enough. Can't make this up at all. It's shocking. Anyway, so and also right when they initially analysed this because it was in a box for a little while in 1972 and 1991. They they one of York Archaeological Trusts, right, has got an expert. Wait for it. Who's called a paleo scatologist. And as we know what scat is, right? Basically, you've got somebody working for your organization who's an expert in turds.
Nice.
Can you imagine going on a date? We're going on a date, and what do you do for a living? I'm a scatologist. In other words, somebody who studies fecal matter. Hey, you should ask her, Pauline, if that had been your job, whether she'd have married you or not. Oh my God. Carl is Aislong, the angry dragon. True. So anyway, so let's crack on. And it said this guy called Andrew Jones, right? He said, this is the most exciting piece of excrement I've ever seen. In its own way, it's as irreplaceable as the crown jewels. In other words, this guy had to get in, right, to um put a paper together so it could be insured. How do you insure a turd? Right. So what happens? What happens? You go. There's a fire in the museum, right? And they say, right, this turd that's insured for like 20 grand, right? How do you replace it? Do you know what I mean? You know what are they going to do? Replace it like for like? You know, it's just like I don't know what you say about that. The layers that covered the copperite were moist and peaty, and the archaeologist. Don't worry, Pauline. I'll only keep him till 9. He's enjoying talking about turds.
Yeah. Yeah, he can only last so long.
Yeah, this is his best lecture. Apparently, he's going to tell them all next week. This is the best lecture he's ever been to all year. Anyway, so the archaeologists also recovered preserved timbers, textiles, and leather from this site as well. So that's our massive turd. Oh, there is something else about this, right? Is that I can't believe what I'm going to read, what I'm going to say to you. They used to allow members of the public to handle this, right, with gloves on, naturally.
Yeah.
And in 2003, the copyright broke into 3 pieces after being dropped while being exhibited to a party of visitors.
Yeah.
Can you imagine that, right? You've got this thing and say, "Oh, come and have a look at this turd! Look at it, it's great!"
Yeah.
And it breaks into 3 apparently.
Ah,
Apparently, it's got its own little cabinet now, and you know, so oh, this guy called what's that, Rich?
bit of super glue, I expect.
Bit of super glue, glue it together. You know, you can actually see, yeah,
Yeah,
it's
like
glued by
that.
there. It's glued by there, and it's glued by there.
Yeah.
Apparently, there's this guy called Dash, right? He's saying, I knew an expert in turds in Cardiff. Once his name was Babuka Jones, I think. Oh my God. I'd handle a turd gloveless. So there we go. This is absolutely quite shocking. So anyway, let's crack on. Let's just crack on. Oh my fucking God. Right, okay. The last thing, yeah, last thing. I'm not supposed to be doing this tonight because nobody turned up, but you had to turn up, didn't you, Richard? Bloody hell. Right, anyway, so which we really appreciate. So the last two bits are going to be this one. Fossilized dung clue to secret lives of pets in Iron Age. When they were excavating a site, right? Um, when they were excavating um, this site in Scotland, which is actually known as the Carns, which is actually right there in South Ronaldsay, right? Um, the archaeologist um, Martin Carruthers, right? Martin Carruthers as fossilized dung unearthed at an Iron Age broch could provide interesting information on the diets of animals and humans that once lived at the site. So archaeologists believe the feces were left by dogs or cats that helped to control vermin towards the end life of the occupation of the roundhouse on Orkney. So this is Iron Age, right? This is the British Iron Age, basically just before the Romans around the birth of Christ. So the coprolites fossilized feces is these are thought to date from about 2,000 years ago. Examinations of the dung could reveal what kinds of scrap foods the animals were thrown by the Brock residents. The coprolites are among several interesting finds made at the Cairns on South Ronnersley. So there we go. There's the coprolites, animal coprolites, dog coprolites. Basically, they're sort of pseudo fossilized. So in other words, they've gone hard, they've desiccated. Some of it's been replaced by minerals. Um, and we've all had a bit of good old Martin. Yeah, I'm sure you have. But anyway, so they've been excavating this site for well over a decade. And this is associated with the University of Highlands. And Martin Carruthers said the coprolites were not the most photogenic of discoveries, but added that they were still an important find. Uh, and then basically he's back talking about this. They tend to lose their integrity quite easily when they're just a couple of thousand years old, rather than petrified as stony fossils if they're a great deal older. However, he's talking again about this. Oh, Dodgy gets back. Dodgy get you've taken over from Dash. Um, so there we go. We've got two number ones on there now. So we're talking about turds at South Ronnersley, the Cairn site in Scotland, and we're about 10 minutes before we end, guys. So basically, they worked out that some of these were from cats and dogs, and they found it in amongst all of this, in amongst all this archaeology. They tell us something of the conditions prevailing inside the broch during its use, at least towards the end of its use, in that there were animals probably feeding off the waste products of human food, as well as probably keeping numbers of vermin lower as well. So basically, Dodgy, meet Dash, Richard's online with me. We've got somebody on here eventually. I think Backpatch's dog's on there as well. Don't forget to like and subscribe, guys, on there. It's they tell us something about the conditions prevailing inside the broch during its use, at least towards the end of its use, in that there were animals probably feeding off the waste products of human food, as well as probably keeping numbers of vermin lower as well. So even though we're finding human waste in there, it might just been deposited in there as the building collapsed and they live somewhere else. But anyway, the other useful things about these coprolites is that their contents may well give good additional proxy information on the foodstuffs present in the broch, as these animals will probably be eating scraps from the human diet. So yeah, so we've got that, and then finally we've got one other thing I'd like to do, right? One other thing I'd like to do. I last night, as we're coming to the end of this now. This is an Iron Age site known as Nestcliff, and this is in Shrewsbury on the border, right? So one of the things that archaeologists sort of obsess about when they one thing that archaeologists obsess about is post holes, storage pits like these things here. In the forefront, they talk about walls and banks and ditches. But as I'm thinking about this, one thing that we never ever talk about when I've been doing Iron Age bank and ditch enclosures, hill forts, when I've been talking about these places, I've never talked about how they're disposing of animal waste, human waste, and so
Yeah.
on. Right? And Richard, have I ever mentioned it? No.
Top of the door.
What's that about the top of the door?
Sports
Hey,
mixtures.
who? What are you on about, Richard?
Sport mixtures.
What's support mixtures?
Sweets. My
Oh,
wife.
yes,
Well,
yes. Explain.
hang on.
I'm confused now. Right, you're up to something in a minute, Richard. Right, Dodgy Git and Dash. Richard has just gone to do something, right? So, Dodgy Git and Dash, if you want to say something, then just ask now, right? And it would be good to challenge you all, right? Those online, because I think, are you there, Rich?
Yeah.
I thought you'd gone off.
No, I'm here.
Oh, right. Okay. Right. Let's get back to where we are. Okay. We're so close to the end. I gotta be honest with you, Richard. You are very good in joining me tonight, right? When you're on holiday, right, with your missus, you could be nicely sat there with Pauline, watching the television, having a cup of tea on the bed, having some of those biscuits, but you're not. You're joining me, which I really appreciate. I really do. Anyway, what I was talking about is that when we talk about hill forts and bank and ditch enclosures, right? And Richard, I'm really getting in. I'm really looking forward to getting into our bank and ditch site and writing something up about it in back from Barry. And anyway, when we're talking about this, obviously at this Iron Age site, a large stone, they think there was a shrine, and you think, okay, but what are they doing with the human waste? What are they doing with the liquid, right? And again, what we do know about lots of these bank addiction enclosures, hill forts, is they've got no wells. There's very little room to draw fresh water. They go through the winter months, and you get into the summer months, and you get 2 or 3 dry months, and there's no water there, right? So it's likely that people wouldn't have been living there. It's likely that people, because otherwise you need to store water. But then again, what do you do with the human waste? Are you going to put it in your ditches? This is one thing that we discussed, wasn't it, Richard? That maybe some of the ditches were for drainage. You put human waste in there or whatever. But why put it in the ditches, Richard, when you could take that human waste and animal waste and spread it on the fields? Mixed in with all the other stuff and all the other detritus that comes in with spreading this material on fields. So I just got me thinking about these sites, and again, thinking about this site in Shrewsbury and reconstructing it. And then I started thinking about this wonderful site on the Clean Peninsula in Gwynedd. And when I was thinking about this site in Gwynedd, I started to think, well, it's there's loads of houses and loads of buildings for animals, but again, that's going to produce a lot of waste. So it must be collected together and spread on the fields. And also, I'm reminded by Dodgy Git, terra preta, which means black earth. And black earth, that is a term that we refer to all that black, thick earth that we see across the Amazon basin. And again, archaeologists, in some ways, were not really studying the true nature of some of these sites. And then what's the? Oh yeah, 2 points. We've got two images left there. Oh, four actually. Um, and we're thinking of Danebury, for example, as we're coming to an end now, as we're talking about Danebury. Um, all of these post holes on sites, what do these post holes actually refer to? So when I'm talking about post holes on an archaeological site like Danebury, some of these excavated examples, some geophysic examples, and so on, when I talk about these things, I'm saying, right. So lots of the roundhouses are towards the edge of the site, protected by the bank, protected by the wind. So we've done all that, you know. And the post holes, what could some of them represent? Could they? We usually say that some of them represent structures to keep animals off the ground, like lambs and chickens and so on, so they don't get predated by wolves and foxes who might get into the site, or to keep these animals from getting damp and so on. You might have some of these four-poster structures, right, which are as opposed to normal roundhouses. You might have four-poster structures, just four posts off the ground with a platform, a little square building, a little bit of thatch on it. You might actually store grain in them, which is great. Not once did we actually say that any of these could represent toilets. We did one lecture where they did a reconstruction of a toilet somewhere in Britain, in Butser, down in the south, but we didn't actually take that any further. And it's very likely that we've got very little evidence that people have got big holes in the ground and they've got cesspits in the ground where people are actually where their waste is going. So it's very likely that people might be going to a toilet in buckets, right? And then taking those buckets away and spreading that waste on the fields because there's no evidence of toilets on these sites. That's one thing that we didn't discuss. No evidence of toilets at these sites. So I just thought obviously we're spreading this on the fields. With absence of evidence, that means that they're doing something with the waste and the urine and the solids. So as we start to come away from this, again, bits of broken Iron Age pottery found at archaeological sites. What does this represent? After they're used for storing food, would these pots have then been used for spittoons, right? And then this material spread on fields. Usually when we're talking about the medieval period, for example, we're always going off on one and saying, medieval houses were so unhygienic. Well, they weren't unhygienic. They were very hygienic places because your waste would be taken to the reeves yard, and then that would and your wee would then be spread on your crops and so on, and all the rest of it. So all of these things are really relevant when we think about the separation of the solids from the liquids and how that is dealt with. So finally, these two images, and as Dodgy gets said online, but I've no pot to piss in. There we go. Leather treatment. Dodgy Git, you missed the discussion about leather treatment. Yeah, in London, treating leather. Yeah, you missed that bit. But you're looking at this scene and thinking, right, okay, those bum sponge washers, right, which would be in some vinegar, right, and you'd clean your backside with them, and you'd sometimes share a bum sponge, or you'd have your own bum sponge, and then one thing really occurs to me quickly, right? Oh, we don't want to talk about this guy, but that's for next week, right? One thing that occurs to me, right? In with lots of our latrines, you usually talk about this flowing water flowing down these latrines, right? But that would use a lot of water, right? Um, why can't the waste build up, right? And you simply, when it's built up enough, you simply shovel that out, put it in buckets, and spread it on the fields. And this is probably what they did, rather than reliant upon large amounts of water to let this flow through in the summer months. Lots of water available in the winter months, but not in the summer months. And finally, I would say when we've examined Skara Brae on Orkney, right, the Neolithic site of Skara Brae. And by the way, it's 9 o'clock. It's got really dark, and it should have another hour of light still, but we haven't. When the water, at Skara Brae, when they excavated, they actually found that they had water closets. Not water closets. A water closet is when you technically you could have just a square hole in the ground. You actually had proper toilets where you'd have a seat and there'd be flowing water underneath these buildings, and it would just wash everything away, right? And that'd go directly into the sea or the lake. So we've got well placed sanitary systems going on in the past, and I think those stories about Tudor men, whilst they're going up the steps and corridors of Tudor mansions, they would pee on the stairs. Well, that's a bit of a waste, isn't it?
Yeah.
Because the pee would be very, very useful. Don't make sense. So, all that stuff is really useful. Your pee is really valuable. So why just pee on the stairs? Just have a little servant running around with a spittoon, and when you want to pee, you pee in a spittoon. Your portable toilet, your actual portable toilet, going around with you. On that note, and Dash said, you can climb out of my closet any day. That is really disgusting. On that note, we're going to see. We're going to ask. I'm going to ask them online now. Before we finish online, Black Patches Dog, Dash, and the Dodgy Git. Right. If you've got any questions, put them online now. But whilst I've still got Richard. Before Richard goes off and has his have a cup of tea. By the way, Richard, have you ever tried this? Right. Michelle has decided to start buying beetroot juice. There it goes, Richard. Right,
Yeah,
let's just.
never a lover.
You're not a lover of beetroot.
Wow.
I'm only a lover of beetroot is when there's beetroot when it's actually in pickle. When it's unpickled, I don't like it.
Mm.
And that's the beetroot juice, Richard.
I'll see what I'll have to show you as well.
By the way, Richard, you can show me that in a minute, but if you ever have beetroot juice, make sure you have it cold. Go on, Richard, show me.
Hang on. Hang on, we go in towards the window.
There we go. Oh my God, look at that. All right, just showing off. Yeah. Yeah, Richard, yeah. Fine, we get an idea. It looks absolutely perfect. Yeah. Oh, he's got a view. Come on.
You see that?
Oh, that is nice, isn't it? Yeah, that is nice.
You see the badges on the
The
hill?
the barrels.
No, regimental badges.
Oh, right, you're there.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought they were a bit of a. Yeah, you can see at least two. Oh, right.
Yeah.
You can see two on the left on that hill, and there's another one over.
Yeah.
Yeah,
There's
I
another
heard
one on
about
the
them.
other.
I heard about them. I didn't think they were still there.
Yeah, a lot of them have just been redone. They've been re-excavated.
I didn't know. They're in the chalk. Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't know they were still there. I had no
There's
idea.
another one there. But I'm in the barn.
Ah, you're in the barn. And by the way, Dash online says the barn.
Bit of old oak there.
Bit of old oak. That's what your missus says about you,
Yeah.
isn't it?
I was most upset this afternoon, mind. We walked down this track down the road here.
Yeah.
Goes down to another farm.
Yeah.
And down there's a long barrow
Oh.
and a tumulus. But it was so rough we couldn't get to them.
Oh, bugger. It's probably a bit overgrown, wasn't it?
Around here, you look on a map, they're just everywhere.
Everywhere. And lots of them were excavated by the in the 1800s as well. But by the antiquarian diggers. You imagine turning up on a farmer's land. I'm just digging this on a Sunday. Yeah, that's fine. Just go ahead and do it. So
so have it there. Level it off and you can plough it easier.
like just like the ones at St. Athan, Mount Nash, all over the place.
Yeah.
By the way, Dash online says Richard is such a hunk.
Oops.
You got fans on you. Anyway, thanks for showing me that, Richard. I didn't know those regimental badges still existed. I didn't. I knew they existed, but I didn't know they still there. Anyway, anything else you want to say, Richard, before I'll just read some of these out on you?
No, that's it from me.
Okay. Okay. Dodgy Git says, what did the Romans think and do with sugar and sulfuric acid reaction resultant? Oh yeah, obviously, I don't know. Maybe that just went straight into the water systems, or that was disposed of in fields. What was thought about the sun reacting with chamber contents for green lion vitriol? What the hell? I don't know any of the answers to these questions. There's nothing to do with it. Oh right, you go. How many amps did the White Horse Hill require prior to the chalk reacting with the water that surrounded the hill? What's that supposed to mean? Um, sphere rocks at Nash Point used as ball bearings for stone transport. Was that right?
I know that one.
Rocks used as ball bearings for stone transport. It's unlikely. Look it up. It totally has. All right, then, fair enough. Okay, yeah, it's fine. Good, good. On that note, Richard, I'm going to call it a day because I've got to fondle my animals before I go back to South Wales, and then I'm going to yes, I've got an hour to do it. I love your little beard. Oh, there you go. Oh, and do you love Richard's moustache? Right, they're gonna. Oh, and also, you remember that, Richard? There was these in Malta. There in the rock. There was these ruts cut into the rock of Malta, like little tracks.
Yeah.
Yeah, remember that. Remember that. Right, your sun is still out, really still shining. So you've got an hour to sit on the porch with Pauline, so which is great. Enjoy the rest of your holiday, Richard.
Yeah.
Try
Fine.
Pauline. All right, Richard. Have you got anything else you want to say?
No, that's it from me.
By the way, Dash and Dodgy reckon you've got a really nice hunky moustache. And they're talking about ball bearings to the quarry, and apparently they would fondle your moustache and beard.
Modelled on Gareth Tiley's.
Gareth. Oh well, he was Barry boy. He probably went to Barry Boys when it was Barry frigging Borstal School. He did. Okay then, Richard.
Cheers,
I'm
Carl.
gonna say anyway. Thanks for joining me, Richard. Have a good rest of your holiday, and I'll speak to you soon.
Yeah, I'll speak to you next week.
No, Richard.
Cheers, Carl.
No, my pleasure. No, Rich.
So
No.
Cheers,
So
Carl.
long. See you so long. Right, it's only me left now, so I'm gonna go. Society is lost, I swear, to Dogster. What the fuck are you on about? Right, Anne was going to join us tonight, but she couldn't be fondled with by the Dodgy Git. I'm going to call it a day, right? And again, if anyone would like to make a donation to here, which is there, then make a donation. Chuck a donation over. You know, but don't forget to join my channel. If anyone wants to join my channel, please join my channel. It's £1.99 a month, and I would really appreciate that. Every contribution helps. And Megalomania. So next week we're on Tuesday and Wednesday, usual time 7:10. On Tuesday and Wednesday. And Dodgy Git, did you come across Mr. Peacock last night? Apparently he wanted to join as well. Yeah, real history, what the Romans screwed up. Yeah, I agree. And Dodgy Git would love to fondle Anne as well, and I'd love to fondle Anne as well. I think we'd all love to fondle Anne. Anne's not on tonight, so she can't defend herself. And that's it. You know, when I'm talking about fondling, I'm a fondling a coat. She's got a great coat. I don't know what you guys are talking about. Ooh, nope. What? Hey. Right, on that note, folks, we're gonna call it a night. So night, guys. And again, thanks for joining me tonight. And we'll see you next week. And keep watching my YouTube channel. Loads of footage. No more Slayer stuff on there, I promise. But all those videos are used up. More Roman stuff and whatever I've got to do. Love you and miss you so much. I know you do. I know you do. I know you do, baby. Ooh. I do this to my sheep. Oh. Yeah, I go to my sheep and I go, and they get really upset. I got one sheep. You go. She gets really upset. She looks at me. Go. She does that. Right. So I got to go and feed them. Anyway, no, folks. Diolch yn fawr i chi. Am yr chyd. Gwelwch chi eto. Ac yn dydd mawr, y dydd Mercher ar nesaf wythnos, ia? Diolch yn fawr i chi. Nos da. Na. Oh. Right, I'm just going to double check, guys, and I'm going to double check this. Oh, fucking hell. I'm going to double check this. Right, is there going to be nothing in the chat box? Sometimes there is things in the chat box left by AI. Nothing in there. Nothing in there. Nothing in that chat box. 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 1. Nothing in there. 2, 3. Nothing in there. 4, 5, 6, 7. Nothing in any of the chat boxes on close on 1, close on 2, close on 3, close on 4, close on 5, 6, 7. Nos da chi. Night. Don't forget to make a donation, like and subscribe. Night, guys.